So we all have the same time. But how is it that the wealthy use their time to get rich and wealthy? And yet you have the same time and you're not able to use it to get rich and wealthy. You ever thought of it? Everybody have the same 24 hours. So how is it that they are rich and wealthy and you are not rich and wealthy? Well, we can assume many things. And we know that some didn't get it genuinely because they are ambitious and entrepreneurial, as well as those are fortunate to have individuals supporting them. Well, we also know there are preferential treatment. We also know there's generational wealth, etc. But what about those who simply have the same time that you have, I have, all of us have, and they have used it to become wealthy? Well, I am going to help you to use your time to get rich and wealthy. Number one, start early even if it's small. The earlier you start investing or saving, the more time your money has to grow through compounding. Wealthy individuals often begin investing in their 20s or even teens. They understand that compound interest turns small contributions into large sums over time. Even if you start with $50 a month, the key is to start now. Open a Roth IRA, a 401k. In Canada, you have the RRSP. In Jamaica, you can open a building society account that has decent interest. Maybe you can open a money market account. Wherever you are, you got to start saving and investing early. And early means now. So it doesn't mean if you're in your 40s, start saving now and investing now. In your 60s, start saving and investing now. You're in your teens, start saving and investing now. You're in your 20s, start saving and investing now. Early means now. Don't worry about, oh my God, I didn't know. And if I know, no. None of that. Early means now. I am telling you, early means now. So forget about how old you are, what's your age, and start saving and investing. When? I can't hear you. When? Now. Second thing, they prioritize long-term investments. Time reduces risk in long-term investments, like stocks, real estate, or index funds. Instead of chasing short-term gains, the wealthy focus on buy and hold strategies, allowing time to smooth out market volatility. Choose long-term investments like index funds or real estate and let them grow for decades without panic selling. Warren Buffett made 99% of his net worth after age 50 by letting investments sit. Now that is true because over time things grow. Right now you look at the market, if you're on the stock market, if you look at it in one day, it's up and down and you're sweating. But if you look at it over a year, you realize that all this time it was going up. Same thing with real estate. Same thing with your education. Investing in your education compounds over time. The more you're reading, growing, understanding, you will also grow. And as you grow, so will your savings and investments. So go ahead, invest in long-term results and watch it grow over time. A third thing you can do, you can buy time through delegation. Time is the rich people's most valuable asset. And it is yours too. It's not just theirs. Time is the most valuable asset all of us have. Why? Because you have no time. Guess what happened? You're dead. And if you're dead, you can't do anything. So time is the most valuable asset. Not gold, not diamonds, not precious metals, not rare earth metal that they're having geopolitical wars over, not semiconductors, not chips, not AI. Time. Not getting monetized on YouTube. Time is the most important thing you have. The most. Because when you don't have it, you're dead. So go ahead. If you can delegate, get people to do stuff for you, so you can focus on the thing that's going to get you rich, do it. If you can get a virtual assistant to write your minutes, take your notes, write your letters, send your emails, do it. You can get your driver to do your shopping, do it. But if you can't, you're not in that position yet, that's okay. Do what you can. But if you can, go ahead. What we're saying is that if there's something that you can have others do, and it's within your means, let them do it. Because the more you focus on getting rich and wealthy, the better. And that is what the rich do. Very rare you see the rich taking out their own garbage and cutting their grass and other stuff. Not that it's menial job, it's not menial. They just want to focus on the things that's going to get them the results they want, and you can do it too. Another thing you can do with your time to get rich, just like the wealthy, you can use time to ride out volatility. The longer your investment horizon, the less you need to worry about short-term market drops. Wealthy investors don't panic when the market drops. They understand that staying invested is key to capturing long-term gains. Now, of course, there are some nuances to that. But overall, you don't jump. For example, it's just like what many crypto investors do. They buy, they stay, crypto goes up. When it's coming down, they sell, they take the profit, and then when the price gets lower, they get back into the market. So what we're saying is, you got to stay in there over the long term. Even if you get in and out, you got to stay in there over the long term, and that is how you're going to get the most benefits. That is how you're going to be in the good times, because you're always going to have the good times, you know. Things are never going to be always bad. Market go down, it's going to go up, and there are times when it go way up, and that is when people make the money. That is when they take their profit, whether by taking a loan on their asset or by selling it. Because if you don't need it anymore, you don't need it. Just like real estate, you're at the highest part of the market, you don't be managing all those properties anymore, you can just sell the portfolio. So stay in for the long term. Another way you can use your time to make money just like the rich, or rather get rich just like the wealthy, you can let compound interest do the heavy lifting. Money earns money, and that money earns even more. Reinvest profits, dividends, interest, capital gains instead of cashing them out. They don't interrupt compounding. Turn on DRIP, dividend reinvestment plans for stocks and funds. Let compound growth build momentum. For example, if you have $10,000 growing at 8% annually, and it becomes approximately 100,000 30 years without adding a penny. Why? Because when you get that 8% on your 10,000, you put it back. So you put it in addition to the 10,000. So you have the 10,000. Let's say they're getting 10%, and you put in 10,000. 10% of 10,000 is $1,000. Instead of spending that $1,000, you add it to the 10,000. So now it is $11,000. And 10% on 11,000 is 1,100. And now you, instead of spending that 1,100, you add it to the 11,000, and you keep going and you keep going, and before you know it, that 10,000 is now 100,000. And who knows what is it you invested it in. Right? We all know the story of that janitor earning minimum wage, putting aside what he can, and in 40 years he had $14 million in the account. You can do it too. That's how powerful compound interest is. Another thing you can do, just like the wealthy, with your time, is to use time to strategically avoid taxes. Long-term holding, lower taxes, tax efficiency builds wealth faster. Hold investment for over a year to qualify for lower capital gains tax. They also use tax advantage accounts and estate planning tools. So basically what's going to happen is that in some countries, let's say you buy real estate and you want to flip. If you flip it within a year, you're going to pay a lot of taxes. If you flip it after a year, you end up paying lower taxes. Right? So understand the market, understand the tax system, and use it. In the US, there are provisions in the law where if you have an investment and you sell that investment, you specifically real estate, you sell the real estate, and if you use that money and buy another real estate within a certain time frame, you pay zero taxes. Zero taxes. But keep in mind, I'm no tax expert, so make sure you speak to your tax experts about this and know exactly how it works. So there are tax advantages. Learn them, follow them, and get them. Another way you can get rich using your time just like the wealthy is to invest in assets, not just labor. Time is limited, but assets can work for you 24 hours. Invest in cash flowing or appreciating assets like rental properties, stocks, businesses, rather than only trading time for money. Invest a portion of your income into assets each month, even if small. Focus on building things that generate value over time. A rental property can bring in $1,000 a month while you sleep. Dividend stocks can bring in $1,000 a month, $1,000 every quarter, every 3 months, or $1,000 a year, depending on the amount and the frequency, right? And that doesn't matter if you're awake, you're in the gym, you're on vacation, you're cooking, you're walking the dog, you're in the park right now like me making content and watching the sky, because the sky doesn't look very pretty today. But I'm doing it today because it's not that cold. Well, it is cold, but not freezing cold as yet. Later on. So go ahead. Get that interest. Invest in assets that ensure that you are making money while you are sleeping. Let your money work for you. Remember, you work for it. So it's time for it to work for you. And in fact, letting your money work for you is even more advantageous than you working for it, because you might can only work for 8 hours. But your money works for 24 hours, 7 days a week. And if there are more days and more hours, your money can do it. Meanwhile, you have to take a rest. So go ahead. Invest in assets like stocks, rental properties, precious metals, commodities, etc. They stay patient while others rush. That's another thing rich people do with their time. Wealth takes time, and most people give up too early. Look at Warren Buffett. He makes most of his money after 50 and he's still in his 90s. It took him a while. Look at Jeff Bezos. It took him a while, 20 odd years, to get Amazon to where it is. Look at Oprah Winfrey. It took her a while to become Oprah Winfrey. You can do it too. So not because the first 5-10 years doesn't look the way you want it to, doesn't mean that it won't happen. Not because you're in your 40s now and it's not looking the way you want it to, means it won't happen. It will happen. You gotta keep at it. You gotta keep at it. And here's the secret. Once you keep at it and you're moving towards it, just like this tree. If I keep walking toward this tree, I'm gonna get there. But what if I stop? I'm not getting closer. Or worse, what if I start doing things that is pulling me away from it? See what happens? I'm getting further and further away. Now this is what most people do. You go into that tree and they see this tree and they say, oh, it's pretty. Now they have gone off track. Stay on track. Move towards it. Doesn't matter how long it takes you. I'm walking gently towards it. Some people might be running towards it. The most important thing is make sure you're heading towards it. If you're heading to the wrong tree, doesn't matter how fast you get there, you're still not there. Be focused and head towards your goals. Another thing you can do is use time to learn and improve continuously. Remember I talked about it? Compounding? Yes. Knowledge compounds just like money and becomes more valuable over time. Yeah, they say the older you get, the wiser you are. It's partially true, but the other part is, if you are consistently learning, that is when you have more wisdom. That's why you see a lot of people in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and they don't know much, and you wonder what happened, because they weren't improving themselves over the years. Now, from experience and other things, they're going to know stuff. You must know stuff over the years. You're going to. But the scale and the level of which your knowledge, your character, you as a person have grown and developed, you have to be deliberate about it. You have to put in the effort. I have to put in the effort. I'm not just walking around in the park. I'm getting my steps in while sharing this information with you. I am putting in the effort physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically. And you need to do it too. And all this information I'm sharing with you, I have to learn it too. I can't share with you what I don't know. So it's the same thing. Over the years, you only get more wisdom if you're deliberate about it. You're gonna learn stuff from experience and other means. But the extent and the scale is dependent on the effort that you put in over. Now, another thing you can do is plan decades ahead, not just months. Wealth is a result of long-term vision, not short-term hustle. Set 10, 20, or even 50-year plans for your investments, legacy, businesses, and states. Now, based on the world we're in, yes, it's good to have long-term plans, but you also have to keep track of what's happening monthly, because as AI changes so fast, you have to stay up to date. It's not optional. AI is changing fast. It's almost every month something is popping out. And with the whole geopolitical going on right now, with the tariff trade wars, etc., you never know what decisions are going to be made tomorrow, the end of today. So yeah, you need to keep track of some of the current stuff. But overall, you have a 1-year plan, a 10-year plan, a 20-year plan, and you work that plan. So go ahead, use your time, become rich and wealthy, just like the rich and wealthy. I am Leroy A. Brown from leroyabrown.ca. Thank you for joining me.